some good news, I think. I've been looking for a way to make curves intersection, or to find the intersection of Bezier curves. Turns out that that's not that easy of a problem. It's kind of hard problem, I guess, but I found a library to do it for me. So if I'm lucky, I can just use this library and not have to deal with the problem at all. So the bad news is I don't understand this library in the slightest. So hopefully nothing goes wrong with it. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to get an updater following my mouse and move this horizontal line based on that. And I think that'll probably make it a lot easier to see how this intersection code is working out. So I should be able to do something like d equals OpenGL dot, and then add an updater. Which will be d dot move to self dot mouse point. And I think this, nope, land on object, or land on D. I think this is gonna follow the mouse. Nope. Oh, well, I didn't interact. Great, that's perfect. So I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna have a line here instead. So let's move this up here. Here, I think. Now this line, I'm gonna want to have the updater for. This is gonna have the updaters. It's gonna have put start and end on, I think. And here, actually, I don't want this to be a lambda. Let me just make a function here. This will be update horizontal. Gonna take a line. And I'm gonna need the X position of the mouse point. Daryl Golden, what's up? I'm going to get the X position of the mouse point. It's gonna be this at this dot get center, I think. Epigram, how's it going? Now that I think of it, I actually don't remember the data type of mouse point. That might not have a get center. Let me see if I can search this. Nope, it's an OpenGL point, so that should have a get center. And so I'll get the 0 index from that. That's gonna be the X offset. Oh no, but I want the Y offset. I'll make this 1. Then I'll just have this be like left times 3 plus up times that Y offset. That'll be the start. And then this will just be right. Okay, so then if I add that updater to the horizontal line, the ASMR, cool, cool. Anything that floats your boat. So I have this, then I'm gonna add this. Great, and so this is following the So I have this, then I'm going to add this. Great, and so this is following the mouse now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to get this dot to live update. Follow the mouse. So let me get a 4 intersection. I think I'm just going to assert that there's only one. I'll just do that. And then move the dot there. Intersections at 0. Nope, that didn't work. What'd I do? Is this not a 0? Oh, this should be 1. Great, that's perfect. That still follows the mouse. So now I'm gonna have to find the intersections within the updater. So let me write the update dot. I'll call it update intersection. No, I'll just call it dot. And what this is gonna have to do is find the intersection between the slanted and horizontal lines. So it's gonna have to do this. Which this is not that great of a way to call the function. But I'll deal with that later. Then I'll have these intersections. Could you take a look at my OpenGL errors in Manim Help 2? Yeah, I could do that. I can actually do it once I get frustrated with this. Because I probably will eventually. So let's see, we found these intersections. There's one intersection. We're going to want to move the intersection. So I'm going to say dot. Basically, I have to move this out here. So I have this dot. And then I'm going to add the updater to it. So hopefully now on each frame, the horizontal line will be updated to the mouse's Y position. Then the dot will be updated to the new intersections. Nope, that didn't work. Self dot. Oh, the assertion didn't work again. That actually makes sense. This won't always be 0. So it should be if. And else do nothing. It shouldn't be self.add, it should be move the dot there. Well, there's no dot. Because I never added it. Great. This is actually perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Do you coordinate with the CE release cadence? What do you mean by coordinate? Okay, so that example was actually exactly what I wanted out of this library, because I didn't know for sure if finding intersections would be fast or not, but that's pretty fast. So now the question is, I need to find a better API for this. Since this finds the intersection between individual Bezier curves, which is usually not what I care about. Usually I'm going to want to find the intersections between two mobjects. So I need to find a way to call it like this. Intersections equals mobject intersections. And I should just be able to pass slanted and horizontal. And I should just be able to pass slanted and horizontal. Now for now I'm gonna cheat. I'm just gonna basically copy paste this into here. Intersections. And then I'll just do this mob 1, mob 2. And this will do the same thing. Or not. So probably no. It depends on what you mean by coordinate. I'm not totally sure what you mean on that. So this is doing the exact same thing, which is good. Let me get a fill color of like red on this just to make it stand out. Oh, this was behind the dots the whole time. Which I get? No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, it makes sense since I added it afterward like that. So there we go. I'm gonna change this to use medium quality. Until I do some debugging and the window gets too annoying. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so this is basically... This only works on individual curves, this curve intersections function. So if I want to do this for an entire mobject, are you doing zero knowledge proofs? Yes. Eventually. I want to make a video on it, probably. And I guess I'm spoiling that, but yeah. All right, so this works for an individual curve, but if I were to print all of the... If I were to just print this, dot data at points. Actually, I'm just going to put a breakpoint here. Now here... Thanks. It's bound to be a ton of fun. All right, so I'm gonna have to take out the Z coordinate. Oh, I know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to do like this. Actually, just kidding. I don't know how to do this. I want to like group this into groups of 3. NumPy group into n? I don't know. NumPy.split. Does that do it? X 3, 5, 6, 10. No, it does do that, I think. So let me see if I have x equals np.zeros. Can I do this? Can I do like 4 by 5, something like that? Okay. Then I do NumPy.split x into like 2. I am really surprised that worked so well. So I made this like 12 by 3. This is the way points and mana are going to look, and then I did NumPy.split into groups of 3. That's actually perfect. So then I can say object 1 curves equals object 1 dot data at points NumPy.split of this into 3s. And then the same thing with Mobject 2. So at this, I have the list of the triples of points in hand. And for each of those, so at this, I have the list of the triples of points in hand. And for each of those, I want to take out the z coordinate. Since this library doesn't work on 3-dimensional points, unfortunately. I think what I want to do is have this index. So I think this index will take out the z coordinate. So now if I print these, the Mobject 1 curves and the Mobject 2 curves. Is it working? I think it's working. But it's hard to tell. Okay. We look for a better way to actually print that out. Print the Mobject. I'll print only the Mobject 1 curves. I'll comment that actually. Okay, then there's array. No, so this isn't actually right. It has each point. It has like the XY point for point 1, point 2, point 3. So that's not what I want. I think what I have to do probably is add an axis equals 0 argument. You know, it does axis 0 by default. So I changed my mind. Maybe I don't want this index. So now I'll try printing its curves. And that's also still not quite what I want. Man. Part of the problem is this is returning a list when what I want is a NumPy array still. Darn. So then when I was doing this before, like this, let me get the array of zeros. 12 by 3. And I do np.split. Gives me this. If I look at the 0 index, oh, it's this number of groups. That's not what I want. I want groups of this size. Is there a different way to do this? Stack, H stack, V stack, D stack. An array into multiple subarrays as views of the ARY. If this is an integer and the array will be divided into n equal arrays, that's not what I want. If it's a 1D array, the entries indicate where along axis the array is split. So if it's 2, 3, then it'd be this. Oh man. Okay, so what I think I want to do here is just have x.shape index.0 divided by 3. So that should make it size 3. So then I'll just do this inline, even though maybe I shouldn't. Of mob1 dot shape at 0 divided by 3. And same thing with mob2. Now these should be triplets. Maybe have some more variables. Mob 1 points. Mob 1 points, mob 2 points. Do it like this. Don't need mob 1 points. Do it like this. Don't need mob 1 points. And mob 2 points. Alright, so now I get these triplets, and I think this is what I want. Now if I take out the z coordinate, where should I take out the z coordinate? I'll do it here. There should probably be some assertion that the z coordinate is all 0. Well, I actually wouldn't want to assert when it's actually running for real. So I don't know, maybe I'll just comment it. The z coordinate. I'll just say ignore z coordinate. Since that's the most accurate way to describe this. So then I can take out the z coordinate here, stack them here. When I run this, I'll get only the x and the y coordinates, which is great. And then, how do I want to do this? Do I just do a double for loop? I think I have to. The world's nerdiest violin. I can see it. I can sort of see it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is saying for curve and mob 1 curves. For curve 2. And mob 2 curves. I have to have an intersections array here. And then, I guess just extend intersections.extend self.curve intersections of curve 1 comma curve 2. I think, why are there so many errors here? Oh, in. I think that's what I want. I'm gonna print these just to be sure. Yeah, I think that's right. Although it's not working now. So I'm going to print the intersections now. Looks like it's usually getting no intersections. Let me see how I was passing these before. Like this. I think that's still consistent with what I'm doing now. Let me just fix up this. Curve 1 and mob 2 curves. Yeah. I'm just gonna... Now I'm going to print curve 1 and curve 2. Then I'm going to print these, which should be the same as curve 1 and curve 2. And then I'm going to add another print, just so I can tell these apart. Okay, so they are the same. Although this is kind of hard to see since it's flickering like this. Oh, wait, no, these aren't the same. one of these is staying constant, which is the first ones. So this is staying constant for some reason. Why would that happen? Why would this be constant? Shouldn't Mobject 1 and Mobject 2 be changing on each frame? Curve 1 and Curve 2. Oh, these are both Mobject 1 changing on each frame? Curve 1 and Curve 2. Oh, these are both Mobject 1 points. Why didn't one of you guys tell me? Okay, now they're updating together. Great. So, I think now I can do curve 1, curve 2. And comment this. And now, great, that's perfect. Now I think I can take out the comments entirely. Object intersections, let me just look over this again. So it reads both these points, splits them into triples, takes this array of intersections, then it does a double for loop over each of the curves, and adds any intersections to the intersections array. Seems fine. So now let me try this with a more complicated example. And I feel like I get the feeling this won't work pretty soon. Instead of a slanted line, I'm gonna have a circle here. And let me just put the radius at 5. And now just everything that was the slanted line is going to be a circle now. Not clear how this becomes a zero knowledge demo, so it should be interesting. Yeah, currently what I'm doing is pretty far removed from the zero knowledge thing. I just still have the zero knowledge name, to be honest. It's the name of the file. So yeah. Is the first argument to this the color? That's interesting. So I guess I have to say radius equals 5. That's fun. It's too big. Where was that if statement? It should be if it's greater than or equal to 1. And this still needs to be smaller. Is it working? Oh, it is working. It's just that they're both red. Great. So, how would I have both the dots there? So I only have this single dot. I guess I could have a V group. And then depending on how many intersections I have, I could take out one of the dots in the V group. But on the other hand, this is only an experiment. I don't really need this for anything related to what I was doing before. Maybe I should just get to what I was doing before. I needed this intersection code. Do I have the file here? I don't. We're taught by esteemed Beaver faculty Professor Goldwasser. In fact, yes, and I worked for her for a little while. So I'm gonna go to expressions. And the reason I wanted that intersection code was actually to make facial expressions work better. Was it called expression 1 or something?